Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here with another reaction. This time I am going to be reacting to the Netflix live action One Piece trailer. So first off, um, in the anime that I have watched, that I've seen translated to live action, specifically on Netflix, I have not liked. I'm talking about Cowboy Bebop. I did not like Cowboy Bebop. I thought that was a horrible rendition. I didn't really transfer. And when somebody says One Piece, now One Piece is an anime that I'm interested in, but I really don't feel like I personally, it's daunting. Like, it's like, I think this is an anime I'd want. There's 800 episodes. Oh, I'm one of those people that if I start watching it, I'll binge the show once I get hooked. And that'll mean like I won't sleep for a month because I'll be like up till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. watching, play the next 20-minute episode. I did that with My Hero Academia. That was a lot less to watch. It's the same reason why I haven't I really kind of want to deep dive into Dragon Ball. I've only watched Dragon Ball Z abridged. So I really want to deep dive into Dragon Ball. But that's what my fear is that I'll get sucked into that. That's a lot. But One Piece is even more, I believe, or at least it's not split up like Dragon Ball is into separate little mini shows. But what I do know about One Piece, I see as a really hard translating that into live action. I mean, especially if you're doing it on a budget, because he's his arms stretch and stuff, and they get big, and think Mr. Fantastic level CGI, and it's constant. He's not Mr. Fantastic isn't constantly in battle. He's like the egghead. But it's a pirate show, and really outside of Pirates of the Caribbean, people don't really do pirate stuff. So I think it would be kind of cool, and it's in a very unique world and stuff like that. And I kind of feel like pirates, it's kind of become like dinosaurs. Like Jurassic Park did dinosaurs, and everybody else was like, "Wow, we can't do dinosaurs better than that." And I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean came out, they did pirates so well, and everybody's like, "Yeah, nobody else can do a pirate movie." It's just. It seems funny to me that these are the kind of genres that were popular from the 20s to the 60s. Your westerns, your pirate movies, your classic adventure. You go find a lost thing of dinosaurs, or a big King Kong, or something like these were kind of the movies. The monster of the week, Swamp Thing, Creature from the Black Lagoon, all that kind of stuff. And now, those kind of movies that were for the whole family, good classic adventures, even the ones that were kind of they were horror, but they weren't spiritism horror, and they weren't gore horror, torture horror, whatever, all this stuff that we have now, these slasher films and all that kind of stuff. Black Ooze and stuff like that. When the Ooze is coming there for Swamp Thing, Creature from the Black Lagoon, these things where it was a creature, it was kind of almost jump scare horror, but it was very clean, very family friendly. Mom and dad were scared, kids were scared, but it wasn't anything so extreme that everybody was terrified or too extreme for anybody, and everybody enjoyed it. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. I want adventure movies back. I want just this kind of good thing, and I feel like One Piece could be that. Having it translated into live action, into a more compact story, definitely interests me. But I just feel you bet. Now, from what I understand, though, the actual creator of this is producing the show, and it is a huge budget, and he's happy with it. The guy who created the manga. So, that's impressive. could this be something that breaks the mold? Because I really do feel with manga anime that they're going to have a property that is going to break the mold. And it is going to be like Iron Man was. You know, like you had like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, X-Men, like those kind of did it. Early on, the Superman, the Batman films, but then like Batman kind of went downhill, and then there was like in the late 90s a lot of crummy superhero movies, all like B-tier superheroes. And then, you know, it kind of was like, okay, Spider-Man and X-Men were okay, but they're not like big. And then Iron Man happened, and like the entire movie street is like, before it was like, well, if it's a superhero, if it's not like Batman, Superman, or Spider-Man, it's going to be mid at best. Was kind of like the general thought. Like the X-Men was kind of up there, but like anything else, nobody had any open for it. And then Iron Man came out, and like the MCU just started boom, 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 boom. And whatever you think about the MCU as a whole or that, it definitely created and blew up this whole thing for that. And I feel like anime, now, a lot of anime people aren't going to like that. Like if they successfully did live action My Hero Academia and did it as a fresh take, because I feel like My Hero Academia, you look at stuff like The Boys and Invincible, and they kind of, My Hero Academia tackles a lot of the same satirical things on comic book tropes, but I think it does it in a more hopeful way, but it does show the cynical side, and it does it without being as bloody, but there is some extreme things in it. There are some extreme disturbing and things, but it isn't as gory. But I really feel like it could be what The Boys and Invincible is, but for a PG-13 audience, if that makes sense. Like something that's like super impactful, way different from what the standard superhero movie, that could blow up. You know, stuff like Gundam and Sailor Moon and, you know, Full Metal Alchemists and Attack on Titan. Like that's too gory for me. But like, there are a ton of anime that I think could really blow up in live action. And once a few of those, there is so much to mine. There are so many B, C, E, D tier anime out there, just like there with the comic books, that like every studio will be racing to acquire an anime property. And there'll be a lot of shovelware made out, a lot of that, but we'll also get some really cool stuff and exposure for some of this stuff to the West that's kind of been this niche audience. And so I kind of think that's cool. Do I have interest in every anime? No, I'm not an anime nerd in the slightest. It is something that I'm exploring and I'm going through, but it's something I have very specific tastes, and there's a lot of tropes and different things in anime that I don't care for. But you know, it's and it goes from like the full gamut. Like technically, Detective Pikachu is an adaptation of the manga and anime that is Pokemon. Yes, that is kind of an American game in that franchise that's then adapted into a movie, but still creating that world. I mean, could you imagine if there was a live-action Digimon? Like, that would be trippy and all, but get out. But if they did it right, it'd be great. So, this has potential, but I have a good feeling it's going to get messed up. But kind of like something like The Last Airbender, I don't have any point of reference. I've not watched One Piece. My entire point of reference is going to be clips that I have seen of the show. So, with that, let's get into watching this. Okay, it's in the stocks.
Power. I found everything this world has to offer. Free yourselves. Take to the seas. My treasure is yours to find.
So that's what their quest is, to find like this guy's treasure.
So
I think I remember that from the thing.
Are you with me? Mutiny. Why would anyone want to be a pirate? This is the best thing there is. Wind in your back. Salty sea air. A loyal crew by your side. It's ready!
What is it?
Or Jolly Roger. We are the Straw Hat Crew. We're heading up to the Grand Line.
I don't know about the actor, but
A treacherous stretch of ocean with bigger islands, bigger pirates.
And that's where we're gonna find the One Piece.
She's been making enemies everywhere we go.
Chop, chop! Cannon! Into death!
Luffy, they are hunting you.
Guys, save your ass.
Well, I saved your ass.
yeah, I know him. Zuko,
You'll have
I
to
think it
excuse
is.
them. They're idiots.
That's the one guy that fights with his feet. I know some of the stuff from Death Battle.
Our crew can handle anything.
I don't know who she is, but apparently she's a prominent character.
The kindness of killing you all together.
You're my captain from now until the end.
I'm gonna kick your ass because no one messes with my friends.
See, he just looks like he's doing regular punches. He doesn't look all stretchy. But there we go.
What's so special about you?
I'm Monkey D. Luffy. And I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I didn't know there were so many pirates. It's terrible. I know, right? Where's my face?
Huh. Well, I gotta say, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna give it a shot. But I wasn't super impressed. I think I'd rather watch the animation. I think it's just a superior avenue to tell that kind of story with those abilities and those powers. Like, that definitely wasn't a Marvel. Like, when they were like showing him, like, suddenly he looked super cartoony. I mean, it's like his arms became like Space Jam. You know, like when Michael Jordan like dunked his arms, like he became animated like Bugs Bunny is next to Michael Jordan. Like he was. It did not look like him. It did not look like CGI doing the thing. It looked very much like, oh, here's some cartoon hands animated onto a real person. Because they, and that's something that's hard to do with stretchy persons, even when you're doing like big Marvel budget for the Fantastic Four, is that it looks very unnatural, so it's going to look animated. It's just going to. You cannot manipulate a human body like that and not have it instantly tell your brain that's fake. I mean, it's one thing when the guy, like, oh, he's got an Iron Man suit or he's got a robot arm or something like that, but the moment he has a regular hand and, like, he stretches and it goes flat or it blows up and does your brain instantly goes, that's not real. That's not real. That's animated. It's a strange thing that, like, a talking raccoon is more believable in your brain than him, like, stretching his lip to, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a hard one to adapt to live action. Obviously, I knew 3 of the characters in that. I knew Luffy, I think it's Zero, that's the sword guy, and then I knew the guy that's like the cook that fights with his feet. I knew them all from Death Battle. and that's really where I've seen the most about the show. I might have recognized one of the bad guys. The girl that's in it, like, she's never really been. I've not learned about her, but like, she seems like she's a very central character in this. Maybe she is in the anime. No, but I do love the energy, the fun and playfulness of it. I don't know if the kid's voice. Of course, I know I've heard that there are a couple of different dubs in English of this, and one of them, the early one, is a bit grating, people say, and then there's a newer one that was redone that's better quality. And I'm wondering, because he's like, seems super kiddie, like if they're going off the nostalgia of that early one, and that, like, that's an actor that's close to that voice, or if it's just like completely different than both of those dubs. I'd be interested to know. But it's on Netflix, and I have Netflix. It's worth checking out, but I was not blown away by that. I don't think this is going to be the one that breaks in anime, but I do think anime manga, like, there is going to be a point where that goes, and in all honesty, I really think it's going to be My Hero Academia. Like, Full Metal Alchemist and Fairy Tail, and like, there's a number of great anime that are like super hyper popular that could do it. I think Dragon Ball would look way too silly. I think Pokemon is associated with the games to an extent. That people, oh, is it an anime? Is it a Nintendo thing? Is it like, they don't really count that. But it's funny because, like, anime fans say, no, that's a video game. And video game fans, well, no, that's not really a video game movie. That's an anime movie. It's funny, like, neither of them. Pokemon's kind of its own thing. But you know, like, if we got a live action in theater Sailor Moon movie or something like that. But I really feel specifically, because of how big My Hero Academia is, and specifically that it is, superheroes are big right now, but superheroes are also kind of waning, and that actually has a lot of interest looking at and examining the genre and kind of making fun of the Western genre and the tropes and all that. But it does it at the family-friendly level, whereas something like The Boys and Invincible don't. That does. And so I could definitely see that being big. I see something like Naruto could also be one that one seems like it'd be closer to being able to be done than say Dragon Ball, which I think they'd look too funny in live action. But this looks interesting. But I actually think, if anything, I more want to start watching the animation. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start that, and if I like that, then I'll watch this and see how close it is. I'll watch the first few seasons of animation and have a point of reference. What do you guys think? Any of you One Piece fans watching? Let me know how amazing or horrible this was. For people who don't watch any anime, did anything in that, like just that classic sense of adventure and pirates and stuff like that, did that make you go, oh, I might be interested in this? As someone who had no interest, like, you know, you were told, oh, One Piece, it's an anime with 800 episodes. No. But now you look at this, and it's a live action thing, and it's pirates, and you like pirate movies. Does this interest you? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video.